Hello, folks. Welcome to another round of Modern. We have Harley Smale playing Indomitable Creativity Combo versus Mike Appler on Blue White Affinity. Let's dive right into it. My power has gone out 4 times while trying to record this this episode, quote unquote. So let's hopefully not lose that power anymore. Like even text from Verizon, they're like the plant power shortages and this and that. I hate you, Pico. Alright, so Harley's playing Domino Creativity Combo. This is when he played at SCG Con Syracuse and made top 12 of the 30K, which is awesome. We're super proud of Harley. And, I mean, he's just a great player. It's well documented.
It's on the ground.
Alright, Harley has a Steve Betts, a red and 6 coming out here. Doing some good stuff. Playing the best card in Modern right now. Probably plays the second best card in Modern. With Expressive Iteration. I think I'd be surprised if he didn't. Mike, on his Blue-White Affinity deck, he's been tinkering around with this for a couple weeks now. He gets a little idea in his heart. He just kind of plays around with it until he either gets tired of it or has perfected it. Or the third option is something new comes along, and he picks it up and plays with that for a little bit. Alright, so we got 2 Ornithopters on the board. Oh god, Razor Tide? It's the blue-white artifact land, it's indestructible. I have not committed any of those to memory. And then an Urza Saga. Paying 2 mana here for a Thoughtcast. Reduced by 3 because of the Affinity count. Now, Affinity is a deck that you don't see terribly much anymore, because a lot of its good cards have been banned from it. Like Mox Opal. But Mike has been trying, and honestly, I do like this deck a lot. It's really cool. There's a lot of interesting things in the deck that he plays. So one of the big things that he's got going for him is Containment Construct. It is a 2-mana creature from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty that has a cast trigger of when you, or it doesn't have a cast trigger, but when you cast an artifact, it gets a +1/+1 counter on it. So that's why Mike's playing like Ornithopters, Memnites, a bunch of small artifacts that he can just kind of vomit out to grow the little metal bug. The thing is, though, it also has Ward 2 on it, which is really strong. There's a Fable the Mirror Breaker coming out for Harley. Ward 2 is just a very, very good ability. If you've played any Legacy and have played against 8-cast in that format, you're probably familiar with Kappa Cannoneer, which has Ward 4. Think of this as like a mini Cannoneer. It gets big, you can still block it, but it costs 2 extra mana if you want to target it with an ability or a spell.
Like the $7 to $10 range.
Harley amassing a field of tokens. We've got a Crab, a Clue, a Goblin Shaman, which is like a $10 token. Because Fable the Mirror Breaker is an outstanding card. And I think the Goblin Shaman token was like short printed or something. But, yeah. Mike playing a Darksteel Citadel, a really pretty Darksteel Citadel from the Secret Lair that had the wave of them. I need to get Seated Synods personally myself for Legacy. Alright. Untapped. So, idea of Harley's deck is that he wants to cast the Indomitable Creativity card, which is 3 red and X, where X, you pay mana into it, you target artifacts or creatures on either player's board, and then you destroy them, and then whoever's player this permanents belong to, you excavate cards on top of your deck until you hit a creature and you put it into play. Okay. So, Harley plays 4 copies of a creature, it's the only creature he plays in the deck, and it's Archon of Cruelty. So the idea is you pop your tokens, go into Archons, and then if your opponent doesn't concede 2 multiple Archons sitting on the board, you untap and just attack them, and get all the triggers in the world. Alright, going to fetch out a Dwarven Mine here, going to create a 1/1 Dwarf token. And I imagine we're going to see an Indomitable Creativity coming out. Now Mike does play Metallic Rebuke, so he could be sitting on that.
Are you attempting to creativity there?
Yeah, creativity, my crab, and my clue.
Sure. So
where do you want to put this that was left behind?
You can put it on top for the moment. So
I think Mike is mathing out to see if his rebuke will get him here.
The rebuke?
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead.
All right, Rebuke, in fact, doing the work there. Now, folks, if you like... There's a pitch for both of these decks. They're both fantastic. Creativity, if you like combo-style decks in the format, and you just want to play all of the good cards, but with a pretty strong combo finish, this is probably the deck for you. And then if you like aggressive decks and that abuse Urza Saga, this is one of the decks. The Blue White Affinity deck is a really sweet one that you can jam with, get some games with, and if you like attacking with really big constructs, this is the game or the deck to do it. Mike plays multiple copies of Machiko's Reign of Truth from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. It's a 2-mana enchantment that the first 2 chapter abilities is you target a creature and you increase its power by the targeted creature's power by +1/+1 for each artifact and enchantment you have. So you can get smacked in the face by a massive construct, basically doubled in power. I know I have. It's a trip. He also plays Cranial Plating, as expected, and then I think that's it for making your creature, making the creatures massive. But one of his interesting little tech pieces, you can see it right there, is he plays a... I don't know the full name, but I think it's Kite Sail. It's Zendikar Rising. When it enters the battlefield, you can equip it to target creature. Target creature has flying. So he does a lot like that, throws it on a construct, and he's just able to fly over your border blockers and hit you with big, big constructs. I mean, currently it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 flyer. That's pretty good. Alright, here comes the Thought Monitor from Modern Horizons 2. Just like Thoughtcast, except it's a creature. And it costs 2 more mana. But it has Affinity, so that 2 more mana usually doesn't come into play. Alright, Fable of the Mirror Breaker exiling itself and becoming Reflections of Kiki-Jiki. A super fun card to play with. It has an activated ability where you can tap it and 1 mana, or 1 mana then tap it to make a copy of target creature, non-legendary creature that you control. So Harley's able to make copies of Arcana Cruelty, which is disgusting. Now that I think about it. We've seen it in other decks like the Boros deck, or Boros Iwatch deck that Kristua was playing on the channel for a little while there, where she was copying Furies and Solitudes and all types of jazz. Now Harley's got a pretty interesting and effective combo here of Bosiju and Renin 6. The thing that everybody was worried about when Bosiju got revealed, that Renin 6 was going to wasteland all of our non-basics away. While it is not as prevalent as people thought it was going to be, it is still damn effective.
Does Besiege actually bring it in tapped or untapped?
Whatever the land. It depends.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the land.
All right. I didn't think it had tap clause on it, so I wanted to be sure. Good.
Good.
Untap it.
Right, tap it 1 for another Thought Monitor. Here comes a Thought Cast, using Spirited Drum to help pay that blue. Both decks kind of just like sitting and existing, which is entertaining because neither deck is meant to do this. Mike's deck is fairly aggressive and supposed to just swing for the fences, but he hasn't really found anything to allow him to do so. But he's drawing a bunch of cards. Taking a damage from that Spire of Industry.
Move to combat. Yep. Rat.
Attacks in for 2 in the air. I was going to pop the treasure for green, and then Besiege you the Thought Monitor.
Yeah, it's good.
I do really like the design space of having lands that act as spells, or not act as spells, but can be utilized similar to a spell, like the siege, like the channel lands from Kamigawa. I also really like the modal face cards that Zendikar Rising had. I thought they were pretty neat. They're not played terribly much. But they get their there's applications where they get played. As seen in the round we posted yesterday, between Boros Lotusfield and Boros Burn, Falcon Awakening is a good card. Alright, fetching out a Ketria Triumph.
Anything else?
No, sir.
No, I accidentally attacked him. Right. Okay.
Really looks like he has a Archon in hand. Depending on how many treasures he gets, he can theoretically hardcast it. As a bolt. So he has a lot of good interaction pieces. He has another Fable the Mirror Breaker in hand as well.
Become a Besieger? Sure.
Right, plus his Ren picks up Besieger. Right, activating Reflections on Kiki Chiki, making a copy of the Goblin Shaman.
Sure. Combat? Yep.
Attacking in for 4 here. Gonna make two treasure tokens. Harley has so many permanents on the board. He was playing the Glimpse combo, and that deck also just had a lot of permanents on the board.
11.
Just every time we have Harley on camera, he plays a deck that just adds more and more permanents.
End step. Sure.
Okay, goes to the end step, sacrifices the token, passes the turn.
Untap it.
Right, Mike picking up a containment construct for turn. Unfortunately, I feel like the wheels are just spinning on this deck.
I'm gonna cast the Patchwork Automaton.
I'm trying to just think of how he pushes damage through. If he can find
Cast it only time. Sure.
a cranial plating and manage to get a hit through, he wins the game. The problem is fighting through that procedure. Because whenever he puts the plating on, Harley can kill. Harley can also just kill the cranial plating. Is another option.
I'm gonna move to equip the Kite Sail to the Sentinel.
Right, equipping the Kite Sail to the Esper Sentinel.
Resolves.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and play land for turn.
Yep.
And move to
The
combat.
Darksteel Citadel.
Yep.
Ren.
Attacking in at Ren for 3 damage. I'm assuming they're both going at Ren. Mike tends to prioritize hitting Ren at 6. Especially when Ren is close to ultimate. Or being able to ult. Alright. Channeling the Besieger on the Esper Sentinel.
Sure.
And then looks like we're about to bolt the construct, paying the 1 for the Sentinel.
Yep, you're good. That's it, my friend. Over to you.
That's cool. Harley puts a Spell Pierce in the main board. Did not know that. Makes sense. Cards very close to the modern format version of Days. Alright, making a copy of a Goblin Shaman, attacking it for 4, making 2 more treasures.
Blocks. I have no blocks.
Now, Mike can just like block with Ornithopters here, and not take 4 damage and go to 7, but. Looks like there are 2 Archons in Harley's hand now. Plus this Ren picks up Besiju. It's like very methodical gameplay. Nothing wrong with that. But there's a lot of thought going into these turns. Cast a Memnite, trigger the Containment Construct. Two mana, equipping the Kite Sail to the construct.
We're going to go ahead and put it. We're going to go ahead and put it on the Sentinel.
Yeah. Oh no, put it on the Esper Sentinel instead.
Move to combat? Yeah. Ren?
Right, gonna throw attackers. I'm going to channel Besiju, paying the extra 2, so he's going to go for the Containment Construct. Ren's going to take a point of damage.
Main 2. Over to you, my friend.
2 and a half.
2 and a half.
I'm waiting for Harley just to hard cast an Archon. Right, Alt Ren. Get the emblem, giving retrace to all of Harley's instants and sorceries in the graveyard. Looks like we are retracing Indomitable Creativity by discarding a Sokenza.
Target my clue.
Resolves.
Targeting the clue token. Creativity resolves. We're going to flip through that deck real quick. Find an Archon.
Target you.
Now Mike is going to lose 3 life, sacrifice a creature, and discard a card. Harley's going to gain 3 life and draw a card.
Gain 3. You're at 4 now. 4.
Archon is such a good card, dude. I love that card.
Reflection, target Archon.
Sure.
Trigger, target you.
Alright. It's going to make a copy, and Mike is just going to scoop it up. And we'll be right back at Game 2, folks, with Mike on to play after Harley takes Game 1.
That was a lot of... And away we go. Go ahead, friend.
And we're back with Game 2. We had Mike playing a land tapped, Harley playing a Bloodstained Mire and passing. Now Mike is playing a Darksteel Citadel, going to a Michiko's Reign of Truth. No target on the chapter ability, but in 2 turns he will have a flipped creature. That is a 0/0, but it has power toughness equal to the number of enchantments. No, I think it gets +1/+1 equal to the number of enchantments and artifacts you control. I think it has the same line of text as the constructs.
This one
Just adding the enchantment part.
is like it's kind
Because
of
I know
like
it dies
a
to trust out.
Nettle system.
Nettle system, yeah. Nettle system. Okay. Good.
Alright. Harley draws for turn.
Go.
Plays a Ketria Triumph pass. Or taps and passes. Brita Tree is going to go to 2. Again, no target for the chapter ability. But sometimes that it just is what it is, you know?
The saga.
Play an Urza Saga for turn.
Attempt to resolve cranial plate. That's good.
Right, 2 mana plays a Cranial Plating.
I will pass turn to you then.
And just passes the turn. Right, could a cast a crab, a hard evidence. We're gonna get a crab detective here.
Good.
Triggers happen.
Harley having the proper tokens, 100 points to him.
A 1, 2,
Right.
3, 4, 5.
That creature is going to exile itself and come back, or the saga is going to exile itself and come back as a creature, meaning it is summoning sick, so you cannot attack with it this turn. But it is currently a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. That's pretty good. I imagine it itself is still an enchantment, so I know Kiki and Hidetsugu are enchantments on the back. All right. Trying to cast a Thought Cast, just immediately getting hit with a Mystical Dispute.
No, it's even bigger.
6/6.
But that's big. You don't understand that's terrible for me.
I think Harley's debating if he wants to make the Siju his land drop for turn, or if he wants to save it for interaction. So I do think if he doesn't have any other lands in his hand, or I don't think he has any other lands in his hand.
Good. On your end step, I will make it.
I see a Bolt of Creativity. Mike's going to make a Construct.
Yes.
Alright, Harley's going to, looks like he cast a Prismari command.
Shatter.
Going to shatter the Cranial Plating and make a treasure.
Good.
What's happening? Yep. Drawing for turn. Yep. Trigger here. Triggers on the stack. Move to make a second construct.
Bonus friends.
There's Saga. Making another Construct token here.
Third trigger.
Yep.
And then Chapter 3 ability. He's going to go into his deck, find a 0/1 cost artifact, and put it into play. Might go get the Kite Sail. Could get a Shadow Spear, or an Ornithopter / Memnite to progress his board state. I feel like the Kite Sail's the objectively correct one, because it guarantees one of your attackers, one of your attackers is getting through regardless. But It just lets him fly over stuff. Also, you can equip it to something, and if Harley's able to
No, it's not a card.
get Arcana Cruelty on the board, you can keep the blocker
That's so rude, though. Just the thought of you doing that to me.
for the Archon.
That's so mean.
Looks like Mike was going to get Pithing Needle.
So mean.
Alas, it is not a card.
Probably Needling Ren.
This thing.
You pretty clearly do.
If you think Harley plays multiple Besieger, you can name Besieger, who endures.
Cool, unfortunately, but heads up nonetheless. What do I get? What do I get then? Do I still get it and like name like Ren? Drum anymore.
Too bad.
Name Ren.
Alright, I'll take to get that Pithing Needle. Probably naming Ren at 6. Looked like Harley just wrote Ren. Darksteel Citadel. Oh, he has the Kitesail in hand. Okay.
Move to combat.
Equips it to the enchantment creature.
Coming in.
The portrait.
How big is this?
2, 3. This one in the air. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
7, 8.
So 9 and 8.
And then this is 8. Because it's one less. Alright, well, I'll jump in front of the construct.
Grabs you to block the construct. Harley's going
And
to
I'll
take 9, go to 10.
9.
9. 9 in here. Over to you, friend.
I knew I was going to draw that.
Sometimes you feel it in your bones.
It's not good.
It's not what you wanted to draw.
No,
Mind you.
It is not
All right. Where are we at? We're at 9?
I'm at 10.
4 manas. Yeah, you're good.
Oh, I thought you had
Indomitable Creativity, popping the construct, or not the construct, the clue token.
Supposed to think I had the thing.
There's a moment of black here. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I guess there was a recording issue. It does go away in a couple seconds. So if you don't mind sitting, there we go. Arcana Cruelty on the board. Trigger is resolving. Mike is sacking a creature, losing 3 life, discarding a card. Harley's getting 3 life and drawing a card.
You want to cut?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't remember seeing that when we were recording. So, fun times. Alright, so Mike still has 2 really big attackers. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 still. That's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay. Maybe my numbers are wrong for the last string.
I guess it really doesn't matter what has flying. That has flying. I guess we're just going to go to combat.
Yeah.
Here comes the posse.
Alright, going straight into combat.
Correct.
1, 2, 3.
Attacking in for a large number.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 and an 8, correct?
What if I was supposed to do this in your upkeep?
Alright, puts the Archon in front of the Machiko.
Block that, because that's an 8, correct?
8, correct.
Alright, and that's a
6,
7.
7.
Yeah. Takes 7. I'm at.
Takes the damage from the construct, goes down to 6.
9 for turn.
He's an Urza Saga for turn.
And over to you, my
4, 5, 6, 7.
End of your turn.
5.
Alright, Harley fetches out a mountain.
Who's calling me?
It's an emergency, Harley.
No, it's not.
I mean, it could be.
Bolt.
Alright, Bolt Simichiku to kill it off.
Do you want to go?
No, you're good.
Drop.
Oh, plating. Okay, I got you. I'm with you.
Ooh, I think he drew Creativity for turn. That's big.
Never mind.
Dwarf Mine here entering,
Yeah,
going to make a dwarf.
Creativity again?
Immediately casting Creativity on it.
Oh, that's cool. In Affinity?
I mean, that works out for you.
Yeah. Kill my dwarf.
You're good.
Alright, popping the dwarf. Hopefully no black screen this time.
Target you.
And got an Archon.
Archon's coming out.
Discard this land over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Mike's going to sacrifice a creature, discard a card, lose 3 life. And as priorly stated, Harley will gain 3 life and draw a card.
Sir.
Colorless heart
Yep.
form.
Has mana open still for Mystical Dispute. He's in a good spot. You might have been able to turn this game around completely.
Trigger.
Has Hard Evidence, Creativity, and Dispute in hand.
And the result of thought.
Right, goes to cast a Thought Monitor. Alright, Mystical Dispute. Now Mike can obviously pay the mana for that one.
I think I need
Um,
cards more than I need.
The argument of whether or not he does. I feel like you have to. Okay, and you need the... there's no blocker. Regardless. Because the attack trigger will happen, you lose the Thought Monitor anyways. Though if he draws a Midnight Ornithopter, you can keep it. Mike, I think, debating if he wants to Construct Body or if he wants the draw 2 plus creature.
Land for turn.
Plays a Spire of Industry for turn. Going to take a damage here. Plays that on Esper Sentinel, which he can sack to the Archon.
Over to you, my friend.
Though Harley, I think, still has a Lightning Bolt in hand. Or no, he bolted the enchantment creature, the portrait.
Life.
Alright, attacking in, getting triggers off.
I will sacrifice. You're up to 11 now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta sacrifice this. I think I have to block it for the trigger next turn. I mean, I can take the 6. Trigger next turn. Is that 4 cards in hand, Harlan?
After the trigger resolves, yes.
Thank you. I have no blocks. Effects?
No!
None.
Yeah.
Go to 4.
Opts to not block with the Thought Monitor. Alright, plays a Hard Evidence, makes 2 tokens.
Grabbing a clue.
Get hard.
Indeed.
Plays a land. And at this point, we've gone to black again for some reason. But Harley gets a land, and then he casts Indomitable Creativity for 2. He wheels into 2 Archons, the triggers happen, Mike dives to that. The video comes back up at some point in time, very briefly, for like 4 seconds. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate you.
Down, right? Yeah.
This video is cursed because of the power outages, and hey, we're back onto it. We're looking for the other Archon. Hoorah.
Good game.
There you go. There's your 2 triggers, and that's game 2 going to Harley. Thank you for watching, folks. Have a great rest of your day. We appreciate you every time you watch.
I think that deck's good. I played it twice. I played it twice over the course of the 30.